Welcome, one and all, to my very own Lizard Circus! Huh? What's that? Oh, we're not doing the Lizard Circus thing right now? Then what are we doing? Oh, okay. Welcome, one and all, to the very first episode of the BlueCast! For those in the dark, the BlueCast is me trying to make an original name for my YouTube poop-related show and then failing incredibly hard. Now, in a world where you have a news show run by a guy who talks about things month old and shows his opinion in your face forcefully, and then another talk show type thing that really doesn't know what it is, with a somewhat depressing voice actor who may or may not hate the community. The people need a new voice, a better voice. This is not that voice. But you'll probably watch anyway. Please? Please watch! My ego levels are desperately low. Enough about me and my beer, though. In this broadcast, which may or may not be the only one of its kind, knowing how I am, I'll be addressing you guys, the community, and giving you exactly what you want. Oh, wait. People don't want to hear me talk. Never mind. But seriously, if this becomes some sort of a regular thing, then I plan to give you a few flashbacks about what's happening in the community, on a large scale and maybe on a smaller sub-community, like in Poop Talk on YouChew, or the forum that I run with Doom, thelittledragons.webs.com. If you missed it, I can say it again, thelittledragons.webs.com. So yeah, may want to go there sometime, and sign up. Get the hint? In addition to these news bits, I will also be addressing a main theme each episode, often in list form. But keep in mind, these lists will be much different than those of a certain news show host, and I don't intend to bash the hell out of people who use styles that I don't like. I'll probably usually grab somebody for a real quick question answering during this time too, since I don't think anybody really wants to listen to me yelling my opinions for 5 minutes. Their opinion may even conflict with my own, because the whole reason I'm doing this thing is to spark some sort of discussion for you viewers, and see where that goes. I'm an interesting type of person. Not really. And before you even ask, I will come to you if I think you should be interviewed. Asking won't change who I pick in any way. And I may try to promote some collabs, guys who I think are underrated. And before you even think about it, if you ask me to talk about you on the show, I will block your ass so hard that you will explode in a beer-filled explosion. But if you casually ask me to check out some of your videos, I probably will. I'm a nutcase. And I will be answering a few questions at the end of every episode. I've already got 3 for this one. If you want me to answer yours, then ask them in the comments. And in addition to that, during the entire thing, I'll try to be as entertaining as I can while doing this. But I'm afraid I'm chronically unfunny. So please try to be. I think that's enough explanation. Let's actually get started with this. So in recent news, Dipper Cat actually makes a new video. CS188 and Orpheus for the Win are both pulling back on their activity. In fact, Orpheus claims he's pretty much done with all this. This is significant because these two guys are like the new Walrus Guy and Crobo of this era. If they're gone, then we should probably expect some new people to climb up to the top. Maybe it could be a blue dragon. Nah, who would watch videos by a dragon that's blue? That would be so stupid. And I think that's pretty much most of what's going on news-related. Haven't seen many promising collabs aside from the SpongeBob King of the Hill My Little Pony crossover collab. Those who actually know what that is can start laughing now at the reactions of those who don't. And unless you've been living under an internet rock, you've noticed that ponies have taken YouChew prisoner. I, for one, have stopped caring. Now for the real deal. How many times have you been lied to by the YouTube poop community? The answer may surprise you. In this segment, I plan to disprove the 3 biggest lies of YouTube poop that are accepted as fact by the community for some strange reason. So let's get started on that. Number 3, and the least important, people say that YouTube poop is not an art form, / it shouldn't be taken seriously ever. Wow. I can already feel all the people coming back to this tab to close it out, and I haven't even uploaded this yet. Seriously, hear me out though. I'll start with the first half of this statement. I put the two together. The reason I put the two together is because that they're often said together, so therefore they are one combined lot. I figure that if I prove YouTube poop as art, it sort of proves the other half in a sense, since most people are allowed to take art seriously. I'd also like to take this time to have Simon Belmont Painting give his opinions on this matter. I'll put a link to the channel in the description, a link to his channel in the description, so here he is.
To me, YouTube poop really isn't that much of an art form as much as it is a form of alternative comedy. Art expresses a lot of emotions. There is happiness, there is sadness, there is vulgarity, there is refinement, there is melancholy, there is frustration, there is fear, recklessness, and all those other great emotions. YouTube poop is just comedy. It's funny. There's always a driving wit, even if it's like, say, Super Duper Superman 1500, or I Accidentally Hotel Mario. Or even if it's something as dull or as stupid as the king gets a new computer, the only road rover's poops ever made. Not responsible for that turd. Don't ever look it up. Or 95% Spinner, and there's always a wit. It's always humorous. Some people spend days, months, weeks, actually that's the other way around, years on YouTube poops. Possibly taxing their physical health, mental health, social life if they have any, or pretty much everything else just to work on a 3-minute, 10-minute maybe, video. And then the whole that sounds pretty silly, stupid. And really it is. But it's fun. And that's why we do it. Art is pretentious. I mean, calling YouTube poop an art is pretentious. YouTube poop is fun. It's just bored teenagers with way too much spare time and access to high-powered video editors. Nothing more, nothing less.
And that's your little point not from me. The reason people believe that poop isn't art is because they're so fixed on this concept that art has to be sophisticated and thought-provoking. And I could go on to prove that some YouTube poops could fit these requirements, if the creator makes it to be. One thing I want to clarify is that I don't agree with this whole Bailey concept that YouTube poop is this incredible avant-garde art movement that will be the next big thing. YouTube poop will never be mainstream, in terms he expects it to be. I can almost guarantee it. But it is art. Let's start on that. So drawing and painting. That's art, right? When I go to draw something, I don't plan to make it super sophisticated and thought-provoking every time I do it. In fact, I rarely do. But people could do it if they wanted to. Hey, isn't that sort of like how YouTube poop is? Sometimes I draw just for fun. And I want to show a few guys what I've done and maybe learn a few tips from them on how I can be better. Again, like YouTube poop. It's strange how YouTube poop holds so many of the characteristics of an art form. It's almost like it is an art form. It can be silly, it can be sophisticated, it can be whatever you want. That's how art works. Art works, yeah. And for those who say it's a remix, and that remix can't be art, technically, in drawing, you're remixing a bunch of shades, colors, and things of that nature. You can break down just about every art to see that it's remixing and comes right down to it. Now, on to part 2. Serious business, yo. If you know the slightest thing about me, people love to hate on my serious business and how I see YouTube poop as more than others do. They hate on my Blue Dragon swag, yo. Now, disregarding everything else I said about YouTube poop being art, I'll prove that there's nothing wrong with YouTube poop being taken seriously. YouTube poop, for starters, is a hobby. I think everyone can agree on that. And drawing is a hobby, too. You'll notice that I'll probably compare these two activities constantly, just because of how similar they are. And I mentioned it before. If I want to be serious business about what I'm drawing, I can. People do it, and nobody thinks they're strange. If people want to go into detail about drawing techniques and certain utensils used, nobody condemns them for this. The same thing can't be said about YouTube, and there's really no good reason why. There's nothing wrong with wanting to talk about certain styles and how they're so complex, and how YouTube can be innovated so much further than it is right now, and where it might go in the future. If I want to talk about sources that I think are really good, and you got a problem with that, then pingas. There's no harm done in seeing YouTube than more than it is, and wanting to talk about that. The community has honestly taught me more life lessons than all my years in middle school did. And I've only been around for a year. So many situations in the community, parallel situations in life that are harder to see sometimes than they are in the community. There's nothing wrong with looking for these and learning a lesson or two from all this crazy stuff. Lie number 2 is a lot more simple, but much more common. People say that companies and YouTube are violating their fair use when they have their videos taken. So let's say for all intents and purposes, I make a SpongeBob YouTube, and Viacom comes around and knocks it out of the sky, and YouTube just lets it happen. There's nothing wrong with that, actually. Viacom has decided that I'm using their content in a way they don't like. So they have YouTube take it down. Done. YouTube gives us the space to host our videos. They have full rights over what videos they can take down, even if there's no reason to take down the video. But in this case, they do have a reason. Now, there's nothing illegal about making YouTube, or at least as long as we aren't making some sort of profit off of this. That's when we kind of go into a real fair use battle. But so many people whine about their videos going down and how unfair YouTube is to them. But it's bullshit. YouTube is just doing what they have to avoid conflict with these companies, because they are the ones making money off of the videos. So that's the real fair use battle. I'm going to shove this in too. There are some points where poop becomes an immoral action. Okay, sorry. Can't say that with a straight face. But for real. People have a right to their privacy, and you can't call fair use on someone else's privacy. The exception is if they're making money from this. Then it becomes a business, and it's not really privacy. Take, for example, CS188 and his Judge conflict. He did the right thing and took the videos down before they were forced down. Those people who filed the claims were just trying to protect their privacy. They were not the business. They just had a part in the commercial, and therefore had rights to say whether the video could stay up with their names and faces in it. People on their own do have certain rights in saying whether a video can be uploaded to the internet or not, if they're in it. Infringement of privacy is something that you could get in a lot of trouble for, in theory. In reality, you probably would never have any conflict. And deadly number 3, the worst of them all, so far spread and accepted that it makes me sick almost. I myself accepted it for way too long. People are really convinced that there are good and bad YouTube poops, even though it's really all subjective. And there's no one person or group of people that can say a video is bad or good. Everyone's opinions are equal. So to all you stew worshippers who enforce his list like the law, knock it off. Why does it kill you people on the inside when somebody makes a video that you don't like? I realize I used to be so guilty as hell of this, but I've finally forgiven myself for my mistakes. And I went back, personally, and fixed everything I broke. I like to pretend that I smashed the YTP HA to a pulp, and also that I've been forgiven by the SpongeBob poopers, who I smashed the hell out of in the past. Look at this video. There's not a single point that I bashed them at all during this thing, even when I had the perfect opportunity in the last point. Personally, I've come to realize that each to their own, but so much of the community still won't do that. You realize it on the inside that it's true, so just let it out and start acting like it. Fix all this built-up hatred in the community with love. Okay, not really. But seriously, guys, I have no problem with criticism and like saying, oh, you could do this and be better, la da 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 da. I don't really care about that kind of thing. But You don't have to be a dick and go around bashing people just because you don't like their videos. Because some guys do like their videos. This goes for all things, even things beyond YouTube. And there you have it, the 3 lies. I hope you found this interesting to listen to, maybe made you think about something you didn't before. If you have any disagreements, put them in the comments. I'll reply to you if you seem genuinely interested in discussing this. And I have 3 shoutouts today. First for Simon for his input. While you're at it, go check his videos too. I say he got some talent. Super Chops, another guy with some rockin' skills in my opinion. And if you're watching this, Super Chops, and you have not seen it on TLD, I am itching to tennis you really badly, if you're up for it. And lastly, to Guitar Rocker 1, a neato guy who has done the best audio work I've ever seen in any videos. I'll put the links to all these guys in the description. Now for some questions. Bender Pictures asks, what color is my underwear? And by mine, he was referring to his. I'm gonna guess rainbow colored? Yeah, I'm sure that's accurate. Doomzappo asks, what is your favorite source? I have to say that is definitely Bovo. For those who don't know, Bovo is a screwed up anime with more exploitability than you could ever dream of in a source. Smonge asks, is there anything you've done in the community that you regret? And boy, is there way too much to talk about. If I had to pick my top 3, it would be the time I flipped out and left YouChew in a complete fit. I was not in my right mind at that time, and I was just being insane and overreacting. At one point in time, I made some videos of myself and put them out to the community and said, hey guys, use these. When I realized how stupid I was, I really regretted putting them out there. Luckily, no one cares. They're all down now. And I think the only person who actually has the videos saved, he doesn't really seem like he plans to do anything with them, if he has them. And the worst one I've ever done. Joining the community. All of you are self-centered, arrogant asses. So how come I don't fit in with you? And that's all for this one. If there's another one, then whoopee! If not, then this is your only opportunity to have me as such an exploitable source. And that is all.